whatever you like, so long as you come and see the show. And they do, and there are thousands all over the country. Here she is in action earlier this year at the Mayflower Theatre in Southampton.
I'm looking for my friend. Have you seen her? Kimberly. She's really tall and really wide. If she had a suitcase on her head, she'd look like a fitted wardrobe. I'm meeting her here for a drink. We're both celebrating. Kimberly's reached target weight at Weight Watchers. And I've come on the right bus. She's done really well at Weight Watchers, Kimberly. She's told me she's lost the equivalent of 3 bags of anthracite. I said, it doesn't matter, you've got storage heaters. She does this thing called Weight Watchers Quick Start. Says it's really effective because it's so quick. You run in, they shout you're too fat, and you run out again.
Well, she's running in tonight. Here she is, Victoria Wood. Actually, now, I know she's got a friend called Kimberly, but what's she called?
She has no name. I'm not allowed to say what it is. It's a deathly secret.
Oh, I see.
There's a lot of people who want to know. There's a lot of mad friends of hers.
But she has got lots of groupies.
Yes, it's quite extraordinary. They'll come to the stage door and they've got yellow berries on, and they all look like that. So they're quite frightening. I mean, other people get red roses, I get sent yellow berries through the first.
Actually, the video, as you mentioned, was recorded on the road. Do you still like being,
I love
travelling all the time?
Yeah, it's my favourite thing, just driving around from theatre to theatre. Yeah, it's great.
Particularly with Grace and all the bits you've got to take with you?
With my little girl, yes, that does sort of take the guilt off the gingerbread. You sort of can't be suave when you're driving around with it. It's like taking a chimp round with you, really. Sort of a terrible smell wherever you really need a zookeeper to come with you. You know, you arrive in a hotel and the people go, what's the matter with the sewers here? I'm just away my 2-year-old daughter. That's what I'm going to get to it in a minute.
Do you have to have a huge entourage, people to help you?
No, just a sanitary inspector, really. I mean, you can't get a porter, you can't get anything. You arrive with us piles of nappies and a buggy and a cot, and the porters are in the kitchen going, you must be joking, I'm not coming out.
Is she old enough yet to know what you and your husband, Geoffrey, do for a living, I mean?
She comes to the theatre with me, and she thinks...
Sorry.
Yeah,
thought I'd better add
that
sentence,
living,
yes.
but... Yeah, she comes to the theatre with me and she thinks that we go in and we play the piano and then we eat cake. So she thinks Mummy eats cake for a living, which is not too far from the truth. But I've not told her what Jeff does because I think she's too young. I've told her he's on parole for embezzlement.
Does she ever stand though side stage and watch you?
She's never watched me do. She just watched me rehearse. She thinks I just come on and go 1, 2, 1, 2. She thinks that's my act.
In your act, you also talk about this very complicated pregnancy test. Now, you didn't honestly go through all of that yourself, did you?
Yeah, I did. I went to my pregnancy test. And I was embarrassed because I didn't want people to think that I actually had sex. So I went to... Because how it happened, I don't know. I went to the chemist like this, and I just grabbed the first thing I could see, and I took it outside, and it was actually a bicycle repair kit. So I went back in, and there was this whole row of things, and I thought, well, these are pregnancy kits, and they were actually things called ovulation predictor kits. Now, I didn't know about these. These are kits that tell you when it's a good time to try and have a baby. They tell you when there's an egg on the way. There's one coming down now, get going. Because it's quite crucial, this egg business, because apparently you only get 1 egg a month, you know, like the war. And it's catered for people who don't really like doing it, but they want to have a baby. Well, they don't really want a baby, but they want a buggy and a raffle, so, you know. So I bought one. I mean, they're all the same, you know. Some of them turn pink if you're pregnant, some of them turn blue, some of them have a little computer printout that says, we know what you've been doing, we know what you've been doing. And what you get a sort of, you get the instructions, and you get a sort of test tube, and you get a sort of chemical impregnated paddle. And what you have to do, and I'm sorry to spell this out, you have to wee on this paddle. Right? This is the I'm sorry. It has been known, you know, even in the home counties, people do wee. Not in Edinburgh, but in the home counties you do. And you have to wee on this paddle. I thought, well, you know, this is, I don't know what to do. You know, women are not equipped for weeing on paddles, really. We don't have the fine-tuning, really. We have the engine capacity, but not the steering, I would say. Don't crash.
were talking about how difficult it is for women, you know, to actually do it. Well,
Yeah.
I know journalists, this is serious, in Northern Ireland who wanted to go out in the field with the army, and this was the very beginning of the Troubles. And so off she went, and when they were out in the field, the commander in charge said, "I'm terribly sorry," he said, "I have forgotten about latrines or anything." He said, "I've organised for the men, but nothing for the women." And she said, "It's okay, I'll go behind the bush." And she said, there I was in position, and the bush moved off. I can identify with that very well. I want to take you back to your school days now, because you had a big reunion recently, didn't you?
Oh, I did. I had
Berry Grammar.
terrible reunion. They sent me this letter saying it was 25 years since we'd all gone to school aged 11. And I thought, oh, why should I go back? You know, I had a horrible time at school. I was being sent out, made to stand in the corridors. You know, I thought the only people who recognised me would be the cleaners. But... and I went, and I was looking for this one particular girl. This girl called Beverly, which was called Love Bite Beverly, actually. But everybody's really jealous of her at school because she was so cool, and she never went swimming, you know, she always had a period. And in the end, they sent somebody from the Guinness Book of Records round about it. But, and of course, the woman that came heading straight towards me was the games mistress, this terrible woman. She hadn't changed. She was wearing this bright blue, brine nylon tracksuit, you know, it's crackling with static. And we all used to wear them for hockey, and you dreaded doing well in case she patted you on the back and electrocuted you. Not that I ever did do very well at games. I think the first time I ever played hockey, I was centre forward, and she told me to bully off. I pleased and went home.
So when you all got together, what did you talk about, and how did you all look?
I didn't know, well, people looked terrible, and I saw all these people in little tweedy perms and little dresses, and I thought, God, the teachers haven't changed, and those were the girls. I didn't know what to talk about. I mean, I don't know what you do talk about to people you haven't seen before. You know, what do you say? Do I pick up where you left off? I see Sonny and Cher have split up. I didn't know what to say to them. And I thought, that, you know, I couldn't even talk about children, because they'd had all their children about 20 years before, you know, not like me, like slipping one in at the last minute. You know, the last egg in the carton. But,
Actually, you do base an awful lot of your material on sheer observation of life. Who do you test that out on?
Well, the audience, really. That's, I mean, you know, I try and test things out on Geoffrey, and he falls about laughing, and then you go on and it dies the death, and then he's going to get divorced from you, because I'm not a very good... But he's not a good barometer. The audience is the only thing you can test it out.
But do you take, for example, maybe a small theatre and try it out with a small group first?
Yes, I try it out with a small, meek and mild audience who aren't going to mob me if it doesn't go well. I just do a tiny bit of new stuff and a whole load of old stuff and just hope for the best.
And you always seem to get great mileage out of the great British public. You've observed a lot of their habits.
You know, the great British public. I'm one of them. I just think British people are very peculiar because we are. Look at these people here. I saw them queuing up and I thought, oh no, that's Gloria's audience.
Harry's audience. I'm really disappointed he's not here.
I mean, I just think British people are very odd because we're just so bad at enjoying ourselves. You know, like where I live in the middle of lots of caravan sites, and I've always found this bizarre, this urge to go caravanning that the British have got. I mean, you know what, these people can only have a sort of nice holiday if they're accompanied at all times by their own washing up brush. I don't see the point of it. And caravan sites, I mean, people who go to caravan sites live in a sort of perfectly normal environment for 50 weeks of the year, then just for 2 weeks they sort of feel obliged to sample life as it is lived in a refugee camp after an earthquake. I don't understand why we can't be happy. Like, I think, you know, if there's a heaven, which I think there probably isn't, you know, because the people from hell have probably bought it for a timeshare. But if there's a heaven, you find people from all over the world rejoicing and singing and praising God. All the British people in a little huddle in the corner by the wall going, I'm sorry, it's not good enough. Where's St. Peter? It looks nothing like the brochure, does it? No.
I love the car boot sales, though. I often look at those on a Sunday.
Only this country could have the most popular activity is car boot sales. You can give British people a car. They don't drive round in it. They stand next to it in the pouring rain in the school playground and have to flog an old jigsaw and a roll of line out of the truth is.
I tell you what, I'll see you there next Sunday. I love it, actually. I have a really good old prowl around on a Sunday.
It's all stolen property, apparently.
Did you know? I've got a house full of stolen property.
Yes.
As you may have heard me say, Julie Walters is coming on the programme later
She needs
on
the work
in the
this
week.
week.
That always worked out an extremely good relationship between the two of you. Why do you think the pairing works so well?
Well, you either get on with people or you don't. We just get on, and we always did right from the minute we first met, and so it's just good fun.
But you've written lots of things, especially for her over the years.
Yes, and what's she written for me? Nothing. Not a postcard, not a letter, nothing.
But it really goes back to what, Talent Days, when you wrote that show.
Well, I met her when I was 17, and I auditioned for the drama school that she was at, but I didn't actually get in. But we worked together years ago, 78, at the Bush Theatre just around the corner in Shepherd's Bush, in this tiny, tiny theatre. And she was playing Ruby Murray. and I was playing the old Irish songster, for those who don't know, and I was playing a schoolboy from Belfast, and I can't do the accent, well, you know, it's a very difficult accent to do, so I was playing a deaf mute, and then a deaf mute, so
Well, that was one way around it, wasn't it?
right. And I had to wear little shorts, and Julie was dressed as Ruby Murray in a sort of ball gown, like a sort of an Al McCogan thing, and there's no toilets at the Bush Theatre, you have to go downstairs into the pub, into the road and in again. Well, it's just terrible going into the main road in Shepherd's Bush in shorts dressed as Ruby Murray. So, you know, we had to do it in a beer glass, basically.
But actually, you're writing something new for Julie at the moment.
Well, she was doing something that was supposed to be a comedy special, but I believe now been changed to a workout video for menopausal film actresses. So. Watch out for it.
I think it's going to be a well-bought video by the sound of it. Victoria Wood. And that's just about it.